All right, we're just going to wait a few seconds for this to catch up. Okay, welcome to another mix session with the Mars Saturn Sound. Actually, this is a new song we're going to be working on. I just got the stems from my partner. He uses Native Instruments Machine to do all the drums, and I will be doing all the mixing, editing, and whatnot. So let's get started. So I've imported all of his drum tracks into Logic. And right now I'm going to be doing a bass drum mix just to get things started. So here we go. I'm going to add my Neutron visual mixer. Oops. There we go. Let's see what we got. So what this already did was it set everything. I'm going to reset everything back to 0. I love this thing. I can keep it all in a visual space, auditory space. Anyways, so here we go. Let's do the kick. Kick will be in mono. My secondary kick will also be in mono. Anyways, okay, so let's go. All right. Let's give this a little boost at 60. All right. Now, as you can tell, I've already done this, so to speak. I've already applied all my settings to this. So basically, I'm just going to be turning on plugins so you can hear them. Might make some adjustments here and there, but I didn't start completely from scratch, honestly. Not sure why this came in all stereo once again, but we're gonna fix that. Want my kicks to be in mono. Which one of you is in stereo? Sometimes stuff like this happens. I don't understand why, but it's probably short-sighted on me. There you go. I'm just going to copy these. Okay, there you go. Both in mono. One of the cool things about this visual mixer is it does have a mix assistant, and sometimes it kind of throws in some interesting results. Every now and then when I get bored, I'll be like, let's see what we got here. So basically you would just choose which of these sounds you want to focus on. So for example, like let's do a kick as the focus. Let's do this tambourine as a focus, and maybe let's see. Let's do this boing perk. Don't ask me why I came up with that name, but well, I usually come up with that name because it's what it sounds like to me. Let's do the open hat too as a focus. So then you'll start. So what it did is basically it gain staged, sort of. It just kind of adjusted it volume wise to fit what's the rest of the track. You see how that has voice and bass and musical. Well, if this was a keyboard and this was a bass, you could do that with this. It will kind of nudge one up and pull something down. The fun part is when you get into this thing. See, it didn't do anything because, but this is the cool part. You want the kicks. I'm just going to do this really quickly. So this way you can visualize one kick being above the other. I mean, you can do this with volume control and EQing, but this way, volume-wise, this one is already up. Even if everything is at unity level, if I play this kick will be higher already by default. Like, not by default, but like the way you set it up here. So this presents a lot of fun because, like, if I just grab stuff randomly, now I'm just doing that to show you, but when I get into it later, I'll actually have hi-hat, open hi-hat to the left, close hi-hat to the right, or both to the left, and my tambourine to the right to give it a different stereo field. So just for the sake of this, make this wide. Let me solo this real quick so you can hear it. I mean, I really love this plugin. It makes such a matter. You could set this up like as a drum set would be and have your sounds going different ways. So toms on the left, snare on the right, crash, cymbal, all these going in a different space without actually having to do anything over here. I love it. I can't say anything good about it that hasn't been said already by myself. Like, let's see the symbol. Here you go. Let's make it wide. Hold on. Let's move it over here. This really appeals to the Photoshop design in me because I get to visualize it. Let's rename this. I think that's actually a Tom. Is that right? Yeah, Tom too. So, like, watch if I can do this. Let's do Tom 1. Let's move it over here. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool where you can just have it. Ping-ponging off each other. Menu. Let's add a little delay. Little waves doubler. Let's do this. Post fader. Gives it just that little tiny bit of delay. So subtle. But maybe we want something more obvious. There you go. Oops. Let's give this one a little bit of a delay as well. No, just the one. Okay. Let's add a little jazzy reverb. This guy needs a little more motion. Oh, you know what? Let's go to Sound Toys. Let's go to Pan Man. Which one? as you can see, I'm not really concerned with my volume here just yet. I'm listening for independent sounds and the way I want each one to fill out, reverbs and whatnot, and delays. I can get into all that later, but for right now, I'm not even concerned with volumes, except in this visual mixer. Later, once I get all this relatively set, I'm gonna go back and then adjust all these volumes. But for right now, it's not important. So what you do is I think this Neutron 3, if I remember correctly, this visual mixer is free from Isotope, or at least it was at one point. I think it still is, actually. You just got to sign up some email stuff. Anyways, so you put this on your master, your aux, wherever you're having things going to. So it could be your master, your stereo output. In this case, it's on my aux bus. So then you put a relay, which is also an isotope, so you'll get this visual mixer right here, and then if you go down to relay, you'll put this on stereo, mono, whatever your track is. So for every instance of something you want managed by the visual mixer, you would put on this relay. So if I were to adjust this here, for example, watch, this is the rim. So if I adjusted it here, it'll adjust it over here. So let's watch this width. See how it automatically adjusted it? If I want this mono, double clicking usually brings it back to 0. So let's make this wide. Good. really love this SSL bus compressor. I mean, just their default snare preset for this, it's just great. Like, I love the sound. It was a wish list plug-in of mine for a while, and then I saw that they had it on sale for like $50 or something like that, and I absolutely had to have it. So now I have it. But I mean, listen to the difference. There it is off. Yeah. I don't know if I like that low end on there. Yeah. In fact, I may cut even more of that. Let's cut it. There you go. Dial this back a little bit. Okay. Just listen to that hit. Whew. One of my favorite plugins for doing snares is this SPL Transient Designer. I love it. A lot of good presets straight out of the box. Anyways, love this thing. I put it on almost every snare I hit. I even use it on things that are snare-like or that had a little punch on them. So let's do this little stick. Oof, that snare is just... All right, let's add some room verb. And on this particular room verb, I have cleverb. which is a beautiful little reverb I bought from Cleve Grand. That makes some wonderful stuff. But this it's very simple interface, not complicated at all, but makes some wonderful reverbs. So I'm going to add a slight reverb to the whole drum kit just to give it a consistent overall flavor. I'll make this extreme so you can hear it. Without. Extreme. I'm going to just pull it back a little bit though. Just give it a little bit of sauce. One of the other things on my drums bus that I really like is this is soft tube solid state logic plug-in console. I don't think it's a plug-in, but it has a hardware that comes with it. Anyways, it's usually set it forget it for me. This right here is usually just as is stock. It adds a little bit of magic and a little bit of inherent not tape saturation, but a little bit of saturation of color. Sometimes I can EQ out the low end, but usually I save that for the another version of that for the master output. In this case, I don't think I'm going to be using that. Maybe, anyways. So if you can't see the soft tube console one that's off to my left, but this is beautiful. Like I said, it just adds a little bit of color. I don't really mess with it too much, but I can if I want to. Also, it has 3 different display modes. So if I were doing this without live streaming, this would be on a different window on my other monitor. Anyways, basically it just emulates a console, a board. Okay, getting back to it. Let's add some reverb to this. Extreme. Let's dial it back. Okay, let's go to the jazzy verb. I'm going to EQ some of this low end out. That's not the one I wanted. Make sure it's not coming there. All right. All right, now the fun begins. Just do a quick mix Now I'm just mixing to taste what I think sounds good now. It does make it a lot easier to use a production controller. I'm using the Faderport 16 by Presonus, and it does help. I have to say, instead of trying to mouse everything, I'm grabbing multiple parts at a time, and that just makes it so much easier. Tambourine up. Okay, so one of the things I like to do is to make groups within groups. So in this case, I've already pre-made the groups, but I have a drum group set up so that if I decide to bring one down, they all go down. So now I have them tightly knit together. I can adjust them as a whole without having to grab the actual drums bus volume. I will be using that later, but that's much later towards the end of the mix process. So let's listen to this again. All right. Let's see what other things we got. Let's try the keys. One of the really the cool things about Logic is that if I had used a song, or if I had a preset in another song that I liked and I forgot to save the preset. So hold on, let's do this. Let's see. So I forgot. I want to do this. I want to put this on a aux bus, a drums. So here you go. Watch this. Sum this together. Here you go. So what I was saying was, if I forgot a preset, I'm like, man, that one I used last time was great. I can go over here and hit the browser and go to a previous song. And would you look at that? I'm just going to grab all these plugins. Yeah, that'll work. Go to the track I want and just hit add. Actually, I'm sorry. I want to hit replace. Let's do this again. Click that one, replace. So it's going to pull the settings from that track into here. Let's see what the difference was. just doing a cursory look through all the parts to see what I've got. I've heard this song already as a loop sketch. I'm just going through for your sake so you can hear what we're working with. Let's save this real quick. I'm hearing the Logic, oh no, you're about to crash sound. That goes out to Diego. Thanks, Diego. Grab. I think it's in this one. Yeah, right here. It's one of my favorite plugins. I think I mentioned it before, but this thing just, I love it. Watch this get wobbly. might be too wobbly as a whole on the master, so I'll probably turn that back down to nominal to give it a little wobble. But if I want those keys to wobble a little bit, I'm going to add one of my other favorite plugins. Yeah, RC20 Retro Color. This thing is just glossy. Let's do this. Let's pull the magnitude down. So this magnitude area, it percentages everything in here. So if I turn all these on and gave it everything, see how they're, you'll see it in a second. But let's turn the noise down. If I adjust this slider, it adjusts everything as a percentage as overall. So you don't have to do all these little things. So listen to this. Let's go all the way out. Best plugins I've ever bought. I use it on everything. Sometimes too much. What are you gonna do? Jam right there. Let's save it. And I think that's it for now. Yep, that's it. I'm going to bounce this so I can listen to it on SoundCloud. One of the biggest lessons I've learned saving my files down is making sure to put the BPM in the title, because I use a lot of Fiverr session musicians, and I'll send them tracks and just completely forget what the BPM is. But if I put it in the title and I send them a reference file or working files, they'll know right away when they pull it in. It says 80 BPM. So it's helpful to me. I wouldn't do that on a finalized song, but definitely sketches. So if I wanted to send this to my client or partner or session musician, they'll know, oh, I can do this because it's got the BPM in it. So just helpful. Anyways, I think that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and see you in the next session.